Hey guys, so I'm going to start with Hadith number 28 today. Narrated Ibn Masud, the Prophet used to take care of us in preaching by selecting a suitable time, so that we might not get bored. He abstained from pestering us with the sermons and knowledge all the time. Narrated Anas bin Malik, Hadith number 29. Hadith number 29, yes. Narrated Anas bin Malik, the Prophet said, facilitate things to people concerning religious matters, and do not make it hard for them, and give them good tidings, and do not make them run away from Islam. Hadith number 30. Narrated Abu Wail, Abdullah used to give a religious talk to the people on every Thursday. Once a man, O Abd Abdurrahman, by Allah, I wish if you could preach us daily. He replied, the only thing which prevents me from doing so is that I hate to bore you. And no doubt I take care of you in preaching by selecting a suitable time, just as the Prophet used to do with us for fear of making us bored. So basically, your preaching shouldn't be boring, It has to have, it has to be scripted in a way that the other person doesn't, yawns or, is not bored. It has to be short, concise, and so that, and the main objective, the main understanding of the preaching, whatever, the class, philosophy, whatever, you should convey it in a better way so that the other person doesn't get bored. And Hadith number 31. Narrated Muawiyah, I heard Allah's Messenger saying, if Allah wants to do good to a person, He makes him comprehend the religion. I'm just a distributor, but the grant is from Allah. And remember that this nation, true Muslims, will keep on following Allah's teachings strictly, and they will not be harmed by anyone going on a different path till Allah's order, Day of Judgment, is established. Hadith number 32. Narrated Abdullah bin Masud, the Prophet said, do not wish to be like anyone except in two cases. The first is the person whom Allah has given a wealth and he spends it righteously. The second is the one whom Allah has given wisdom, the Holy Quran, and he acts according to its teachings and it teaches it to others. So basically this was like, do not wish to be like anyone except in two cases. Okay, these two cases. And now comes Hadith number 33. Narrated Abu Musa, the Prophet said, the example of guidance and knowledge with which Allah has sent me is like abundant rain falling on the earth, some of which was fertile soil that absorbed rainwater and brought forth vegetation and grass in abundance, and another portion of it was hard and held the rainwater, and Allah benefited the people with it, and they utilized it for drinking, making their animals drink from it, and for irrigation of the land for cultivation. And a portion of it was barren, which could neither hold the water nor bring forth vegetation. Then the land gave no benefits. The first is the example of the person who comprehends Allah's religion and gets benefit from the knowledge of which Allah has revealed through me, the prophets, and learns and then teaches others. The last example is that of a person who does not care for it and does not take Allah's guidance and reveal through me. He is like the barren land. Now comes the Hadith number 34. Narrated Abdullah and Abu Musa, the Prophet said, near the establishment of the hour, 3 will be days during which religious ignorance will spread, knowledge will be taken away, and there will be much al-harj, and al-harj means killing. And now comes Hadith number 35. Narrated Abu Musa, the Prophet was asked about things which he did not like, but when the questioners insisted, the Prophet got angry. He then said to the people, ask me anything you like. A man asked, who is my father? The Prophet replied, your father is Hudayfa. Then another man got up and said, who is my father, O Allah's Messenger? He replied, your father is Salim, Mawla, the freed slave of Shaiba. So when Umar saw the anger on the face of Prophet, he said, O Allah's Messenger, we repent to Allah by offending you. Hadith number 36. Narrated Anas bin Malik, one day Allah's Messenger came out before the people, and Abdullah bin Hudayfa stood up and asked him, who is my father? The Prophet replied, your father is Hudayfa. The Prophet told them repeatedly in anger to ask him anything they liked. Umar knelt down before the Prophet and said thrice, we accept Allah as a Lord and Islam as a religious prophet, and Islam as a religion and Muhammad as a prophet. After the Prophet became silent. So this was, I think, the repeated hadith, but it also mentioned in the previous, it didn't mention what Umar basically did and said, so that's why they didn't take it out of the book. That's why they mentioned. Now comes hadith number 37, narrated Anas. Whenever the Prophet asked permission to enter, he knocked the door thrice with greeting, and whenever he spoke a sentence, said a thing, he used to repeat it thrice. Hadith number 38, narrated Abu Burda's father, Allah's Messenger said, 3 persons will have a double reward. A person from the people of the scriptures who believed in his prophet Jesus or Moses and other prophets, and then believed in the Prophet Muhammad as the last prophet, has embraced Islam. Second is a slave who discharges his duty to Allah and his master. A master of woman slave who teaches her good manners and educates her in the best possible way, the religion, and manumits her and then marries her. And then comes hadith number 39, narrated Abdullah bin Amr bin Al, as I heard Allah's Messenger saying, Allah does not take away the knowledge by taking it away from the hearts of the people, but takes it away by the death of the religious learned man, till when none of the religious learned men remains, people will take as their leaders ignorant persons, who when consolated will give them verdict without knowledge, so they will go astray and will lead the people astray. Hadith number 40, narrated Abu Sa'id al-Khudri. Some women requested the Prophet to fix a day for them, as the men were taking all the time, so that he promised them one day for religious lessons and commandments. Once during such a lesson, the Prophet said, a woman whose 3 children die will be shielded by them from the hellfire. On that a woman asked, if only 2 die? He replied, even 2 will shield her from the hellfire. Hadith number 41, narrated Abdullah bin Az-Zubair, I said to my father, I do not hear from you any narration, hadith of Allah's Apostle, as I hear his narration from so and so. Az-Zubair replied, I was always with him, the Prophet, and I heard him saying, whoever tells a lie against me intentionally, then surely let him occupy his seat in hellfire. Hadith number 42, narrated Abu Huraira, people say that I have narrated many hadiths. Had it not been for 2 verses in the Quran, I would not have narrated a single hadith, and the verses are verily those who conceal the clear sign and the guidance which we have sent down up to most merciful. This is basically a verse from the Quran, 2nd chapter 159 to 160. And no doubt our Muhajir immigrant brothers used to be busy in the market with their business bargains, and our Ansari brothers used to be busy with their property, agriculture. But I, Abu Huraira, used to stick to Allah's Messenger, contented with what will fill my stomach, and I used to attend that which they used not to attend, and I used to memorize that which they used not to memorize. Hadith number 43, narrated Abu Huraira, I said to Allah's Messenger, I hear many narrations, hadiths from you, but I forget them. Allah's Apostle said, spread your rida garment. I did accordingly, and then he removed his hand as if filling them with something and emptied them in my rida, and then said, take and wrap the sheet over your body. I did it, and after that I never forgot anything. Narrated Jarir, it's hadith number 44, narrated Jarir, the Prophet said to me during Hajjat al-Wida, let the people keep quiet and listen. Then he said, addressing the people, do not become infidels, revert to disbelief after me by striking the necks, cutting the throats of one another, killing each other. Okay, so basically he's saying, do not become infidels by reverting to disbelief after me by striking the necks and cutting the throats of one another. Do not go against each other. Hadith number 45, narrated Anas bin Malik, once Muad was along with Allah's Messenger as a companion rider. Allah's Messenger said, O Muad bin Jabil. Muad replied, Labbaik and Sadaik, O Allah's Messenger. Again the Prophet said, O Muad. Muad said thrice, Labbaik and Sadaik, O Allah's Messenger. Allah's Messenger said, there is none who testifies sincerely that none has the right to be worshipped but Allah, and Muhammad is his apostle, except that Allah will save him from the hellfire. Muad said, O Allah's Messenger, should I not inform the people about it so that they may have glad tidings? He replied, when the people hear about it, they will solely depend on it. Then Muad narrated the above mentioned hadith just before his death, being afraid of committing sin by not telling the knowledge. Hadith number 46, narrated Ibn Umar, the Prophet said, "We are an illiterate nation. We neither write nor know accounts. The month is like this and this, sometimes of 29 days and sometimes of 30 days. So I guess that is for today. Have a good day, guys. See you next time.